tell me a little bit about your experience. What do you like about the program? Favorite parts, takeaways, all that fun stuff.
Hi, I am Felicia,
And I'm Simeon.
and we joined back in July. And I think the best part for me is just having access and gaining the knowledge to even know where to start. This is something we've been wanting to do, but just didn't know where to start. So it's a beautiful thing having just one-on-one access and group teaching and coaching.
Yeah, quite frankly, a lot of people have an American dream of what they'd like to realize and whatnot, but they don't really know where to get started, what a network looks like, who you can trust, and just things along those lines. This provides all of that, and not only that, but it does it without the arrogance of assuming that you know what you're doing. You get to filter through all of the other stuff that you see on the social media, on YouTube or whatnot, and you get to talk to people who actually did it, and they'll also talk to you about their mistakes. And those are the questions that go unasked that get answered anyway, and you just end up finding it helpful long term.
I love it. What would you guys say to somebody on the fence about joining the community?
I would say beyond little kids that are whimpering and whatnot in the background, you would I would say become really aligned to what your why is.
Yeah.
Just become really in tune with that, and then you have a point of reference to bounce it off of. If something doesn't seem as though it aligns with your why, then it might not be a good fit. But if it does, then you have to start asking yourself, am I being scared? Am I operating out of fear? Am I being lazy? Am I unwilling to push myself outside of my comfort zone and whatnot? Because my why is static, and this seems to be able to get me to that why. But so I might be my own obstacle, and so now you have to start answering your own questions to partially answer your question, but just taking it in a different space. What it's also doing is we've been married for 22 years now, and even in that 22 years, we're still defining our why is pretty solid, but we're still looking for our collective core values, and our why stems out of those collective core values. But what we're finding is that we don't always agree with what our core values are. She has hers, I have mine, and whatnot, and we're still working after a couple of decades about who we are collectively. And what this does is it gives us a point of reference to juxtapose against who we believe we are in connection to our why. And so now that we have lessons, we have outcomes, we have pathways, we have networks, we have proven results, and all of these other things. And then we look at what we said our why was. And now we have to ask ourselves, were we being serious about it? Did we do what we said we were going to do? And those kinds of things. It provides an accountability that didn't exist before we joined. And now with that, we have to sit with the reality of that and then start to look at what our outcomes are. And it's actually really, really healthy to have that as a point of reference that we didn't have before.
I would say if you're on the fence, if you're looking to jumpstart and get going very quickly, I would say this is the way to do it because I think you guys just offer a lot of resources.
For
Um,
sure.
just the weekly calls, the expert advice and knowledge is unmatched. I would say so. Join.
Right, for sure.